communists. They say, you send all your exports to us. We don't want to export back at you. We'll just live off your Western production. We've fed them, we've clothed them, we've armed them. We'll put their factories in place. And now we shiver in front of the armies and navies, which we've built for them. Do you know that 4/5 of the ships in the Soviet Navy, which straddles the whole world, has turbines and diesels manufactured in the West? Well, exports can only take us so far. So the next question is, force your own people to consume more. So we devised the most brilliant brainwashing technique in the world called advertising. Instead of being a service telling you what's available, it's now a pressure to make people conform, and it hits you every 5 minutes over your television. We take it now for granted, but just sit and listen to it one day. It's brilliant, you know. Something washes whiter than white. Now, what does that mean when you think about it? All go and live in Marlborough country, and you see great bronzed heroes riding horses across the boundless plains. I think half of them have lung cancer, probably. The other half are being amalgamated and moved off. And then, you see, if that doesn't serve the purpose, and it did for a while, we developed one further technique. The only way we can keep our society going is to start making things that'll break down quicker and quicker. I don't know if you've noticed this. It is a science taught at university now. It's not just haphazard. And if you want to get a picture of this, get a book called The Waste Makers by Vance Paggard. He's a socialist. His conclusion is wrong, but his description of the problem is 100%. He just went through one industry after another in the United States and painted a picture of what was happening. One I can think of, tires on cars. There was a little firm, absolutely broke, desperate, didn't know how to survive, trying to appease the bank manager. They had a board meeting and they said, well, look, let's look at the tires. The tires were lasting 20,000 miles on the average car. Let's make a whole new batch that only lasts 10,000 miles. So they did. And the dreadful thing is, it solved their problem. They sold more tires, you see. Bigger profits, black figures instead of red figures, happy bank manager, everybody smiling, more jobs. And in that microcosm is how we're running the Western world. And so America or Canada today, the main feature are huge areas of slag heaps of motor cars, washing machines, microwave ovens, fridges, nothing's ever repaired, piled, sometimes covering tens of thousands of acres, 4 or 5 deep. And that is, so long as we keep building those, perhaps we can keep the thing going. And even that now is running out. And so now we're finally getting factories where you don't have people working. I saw a picture of one the other day. It was a photograph where the factory was so big you couldn't see the end of it. It was just bank after bank after bank of machines producing shirts. And you went into the office, and there on a board was a program set up, all computerized, and you could work out how many shirts, how many colors, how many sizes, how many buttonholes, how many buttons, whether it was short sleeves or long sleeves. And you just pressed those buttons, and you went round 2 hours later to the other end of the factory, and you just picked up what you wanted. All in boxes, all with plastic covers, so many of each. And there wasn't one person working in that factory. It even swept the floor itself. I saw another picture of a factory producing pistons, exactly the same. To show how far we've gone, there was a seminar not very long ago on where we're going to take the industrial society, held in Florida. And they had politicians and economists, because this is a political problem just as much. We have now great armies of unemployed who are becoming revolutionary. You see, what are we going to do? And we had a paper given at that seminar quite seriously, which suggested the space program might give man a new breathing space. Not for the advantage of getting a man on the moon, but here is an unlimited export market out into space. We could keep everybody fully employed in factories, producing the things we need, put them in rockets, put a match to it, blast it out. And as this genius said, it has one major advantage. Nobody's going to import back at you. And they all pulled their notebooks out and made a note. Good thinking. And in order to keep this momentum going, America, which a few years ago they thought had inexhaustible raw materials, is now running out. It's gouging out into Canada, it's gouging out into the Middle East and Africa, it's gouging out into Australia, and it's taking bigger and bigger mountains of minerals and putting them in giant supertankers, which go faster than ever, consuming more fuel in the process across the ocean, feed it into this economic system so you can keep everybody fully employed, producing more things that'll break down quicker and quicker, so you can put them on rubbish heaps or send them out into the atmosphere, so you can keep everybody fully employed. And we've reached the end of the road. We can't keep it up any further. And look what we've done to God's heritage, to the stuff that he gave us for nothing, the very creation, to provide us our daily bread. And then we as Christians send our kids off into the educational system, which from the age of 5 and 6 onwards is doing assignments on pollution, destruction of the environment, and it's true, what we're doing to our rivers, our creek beds, what we're doing to people, what we're doing to streets. And the message coming through to those kids is that, kiddies, is capitalism or Western Christian civilization. And the answer to that is communism. We can't have freedom any longer. And because kids want something to believe in and are idealistic, we wonder why they come out of those educational systems and stream off into radical movements. And if that isn't good enough, they go off into Eastern cults or drug problems, in desperation in a world that is literally tearing their environment apart and now tearing them apart. What's the Christian answer? And you go still to the churches, and the churches say, well, this world is a vale of tears, you know. It's not our job to provide answers in that field. And yet it's God's environment. Give us this day our daily bread. He's given us the means to produce our daily bread, and look what we're doing with it. And yet somewhere in the seed of this frightful destruction, it's a sin past any description, is also the seed of a greater abundance and freedom and love than ever before in mankind's history. If we get back on the way he's given us, life more abundant. And if we can discover the way to utilize this so that it returns to the individual freedom, what a world it could be. But we're not going to discover it through economic systems pouring out of Flinders University. It's got to come through individuals rediscovering the way that God wants us to live. God has economic answers. He's got answers for our economic system, our money system, our political system, our tax system, the way we use the environment, and we dare not turn away and shut our eyes and say this has nothing to do with us. Surely. And thank God the church is beginning to wake up and is beginning to see that. We are responsible. We do have to have an answer. What is the answer? There's a key in this, you know. And the key is this. Every time man discovers a means of creating more and producing more, not creating more, but producing more of the things that are needed, so that we have mountains now around the world, with less effort than ever before, are the costs of production going up or are they going down? And surely you'd have to argue